this activity, we focus on sensation, we pay our attention while doing these activities, we focus on our sensation and how our sensations undergo change. Okay? 제가 아주 단단히 최고 지기네 고주야이 아니 최고들랑 아주 help now strategies 이거다 가르소래 텔메기 락랭스라고래 갑도기 락랭 디 락랭디 아니 그뒤 비주체레슬라바이나 룹투소다 지게 심 마기버 차야다 심 부스토고 차야다보다 근데 용외 값수 마 신점 용해기 체도 아니 락랭드스 표시지고 디 락랭초로 디 락랭디 낭기 류초르단 저와 차디어와 임버선자 아니 아주 당을라 류초르세 디 컨디션 라기메디 모드직체 라 디네네 아니 아주 단다디 제고디 두베이라. So in C learning, of course, sensations are the feelings that we have in our body, right? Feeling of cold or warmth. What other kind of sensations are there? Tightness, tightness, yeah. Okay. What is? Oh, relaxation. Yeah, body. Especially, your body. When your body feels relaxed, that's a sensation. What else? Anxiety. Is anxiety a sensation? Huh? But when you feel anxiety, when you feel anxious, where do you feel that in your body? In your chest? Okay, so the tightness, right? Tightness that you feel, you feel your airways are constricted. So these are sensations. These are something that you feel in your body. But anxiety itself, so these are some of the sensations that are associated with anxiety, right? What other sensations are there? Huh? Nauseous? Feeling nauseous, yes. What else? Nervousness, is that a sensation? Nervousness, where do you feel it? So sensations are those feelings that we can localize. Most of the sensations we can feel it in certain part of the body, right? So, burning sensation, yes. Burning is a sensation exactly. But coming back to your point about nervousness, where do you feel it? Shivering, right? Shivering is a sensation. So it seems like most of us know and have, of course, experienced these sensations, right? So sensations are things that you feel in your body, and you can pretty much localize where you are feeling it, right? So, tingling feeling, shivering, ticklish, numbness, right? Cold, hot. These are, different kinds of sensations. And of course, there are many more, right? So in this activity, we are focusing on the changes that undergo in your sensation when we, engage in the activity, right? So that tanda na lo lang azuki luchor sene da namgyung azuki sensation la da ngazu ETSI ki nang lo la wangchor la ni gyurgyo re ra da ya da luchor di re ra ani luchor la ani ngwe sungya da luchor la tonan te gi ra da tan luchor si yunje jamara ta chowa pe na thangmyo ge chorwa da chabu chorya ra ani dar thu ya ya da uta ya deba la ngazu ki kharso re satu lang du ge chona da chigine de chona rik ta me da mangu shi ngo ra di changma luchor ge chowa re ani luchor di chidan cheba ina ko lugi chakhwala chorgi yobadi ngazu moy sungtuya dawjure, right? Then these are many of the sensations that you mentioned. These are felt outside of our body, external part of the body, but some of the sensations can be internal as well, right? So maybe tightening, tightening especially in your chest or in your lungs. These are sensations that you feel inside your body, right? Why do we need to pay attention to sensation? Because as Krista mentioned earlier, sensation is very closely connected to our emotions, right? Often our emotions manifest, expresses themselves in these type of sensations. So we are going to talk about the nervous system and how it is connected with emotion and sensation later on. But the reason why we are focusing on sensation is because sensation is produced by our nervous system, and our nervous system is influenced and impacted by the emotions that we have. So there is this close connection, and as we are able to track and observe our sensation more closely, we are able to track our emotions better, right? So the activity involves a pair of participants. We have these, what we call the stations, put around the room. So each pair will go to a station, and you will read the instruction on the poster, and then you act on that, right? For instance, the station number 1, you have a glass filled with water. So we will place some water there, and you have to drink it. And then as the water goes down, you observe the sensation that you feel, okay? So similarly, the station number 2, it's about naming colors. Okay.
So should we model it?
Huh?
Should we model it?
Okay.
So we'll show you what you're going to do with your partner. So pretend we're at station 2.
Okay.
Station 2 is to name 6 colors.
Should I put up the...
Yeah.
And then they have to ask a few questions, right?
Yeah, but we just want them to say, what do you notice?
Okay.
What sensations do you notice?
Okay. So the station 2 is to name 6 colors you see in the room. Okay?
Okay. I see maroon, pink, blue, green, red, and tan.
So as you observe these colors, what sensation do you have in your body?
I noticed tingling in my back.
Mm-hmm. Was it a pleasant sensation or a neutral or unpleasant?
It was pleasant.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Now,
So now Sunday would do the same.
okay, I see, okay, red, white, pink, blue, brown, and dark brown.
And do you notice anything on the inside, any sensations?
Yes, kind of a cold sensation in my back.
Okay.
I think I'm feeling the air from one of the air conditioner. Yeah.
And is that pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral?
It's a pleasant sensation for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then we will have completed station 2, and we would go find another activity to do.
So there are 9 stations. So we ask you to visit these stations and then read the instruction and follow it and do it and observe the sensation. And as you do it, you share it with your partner. Your new partner. New partner?
New partner.
Oh, they change partners?
Well,
Okay.
no, I mean, for this activity,
Oh, okay.
work with a partner they have not worked with yet.
Okay, yeah. Dixon, the Tanda di Chego di Nalo la mini ni nyam du che che, 안 단다디 최고디 가서 파게 자르쇼인데 찍발라 구요래 구스나다 민라와 구요 레르라 페안 파게라 카리티바디 티바시순 셰르와 베나차샤바이나 안기니바디나 아니 강바디 낭로라 카도 민라와 투쿠 아니 수수 파주 최네 문진 셰레 안딩 문진 셰베 값수 최고디 두베 값수 아니 수수기 류보 낭로라 류초르 카리키기도 딜라 토나체 아니 수수 로과냐보 펜주 셰레 셰레 라 아니 디 류초르디 다 가리게 바이네 류초르다 장무기기도 사우지 가리라바는데 디 초와 대화래도 초와 미대화래 초와 당념래 딩은진치어.
One clarification, they can start at any station, they're numbered, but that's not the order.
Right.
So they can go anywhere. So if you see a lot of people over here, then find someplace else where there's space.
그래서 또 단단 가지고 안기 찍는 곳에요데 남버서 가와는 고쪽네 디거 와 당번이 인지민지 고쪽고 말해. 그래서 노스파 담네 아니 가져 다 제투도 제야래. Okay?
Why they are called help now strategy?
Oh, yeah.
You go ahead.
Okay. We call these strategies help now strategies. So immediate help. So when your body is agitated, when your nervous system is excited, or even if it's very depressed, when your nervous system is not regulated, you need immediate assistance to bring yourself back to the present moment and provide some stability. So that's why these are called help now. They're very quick, immediate things you can do in the moment, and your children can do in the moment.
그래서 단다디를 민 help now 라디 단다라 아니 로봇 체킹기 슬라고라다 가지고 텔톱 락랭 슬라베 텔메 락랭 갑도 다가랑기 락랭 디 아니 카르소레 딱 부구초 로 셈시우지 팡토부차네 시우지 초대에 용거래야 셈 지기 shum대에 용거와 셈 지교나라보다 간지 고란족이 왕자 말라디 차와 딱다지 마집을 균대 차와 제단하시 마집에 내갑수 안드주 락랭디 배주시겨래 락랭디기 디지기 툼레 마스나 툼레 뉴르모시우지 텐토고 여러와 디 무슨 잔 드줄라다 아주 help now 라니 밍다게 단다라 락랭 따리야기 아니 락랭 카스라니 도스 밍다게요래.
There's no right or wrong way to experience these. People will have very different reactions sometimes, and we're just asking you now to observe what it is you're experiencing, but there's no right or wrong way to do it.
그래서 디 칼소레 최고디 루베갑스 미창말라다 서로와 직받아 레두고 말와 소아면다 용구열에 아니 재단 딘디스 최고레 딘디스 지기요 말에서야 딘디케요 말에와 간제 도난디 카레슬라나 차와디체 최고디체네 셈디 아니 내가 딜라 추키우야 배나가서 셈도 쉬우지 툭대요나 아니 셈다 된다 신바지를 삼로당대요라 디 땅마주 바치네 추 미과 추카 제네 라 아니 갑두디 차와 가르치기는 딜라 미과 샤주고요라 디 무슨 잡배나 추동야라고 집어이나 부고베 툭대 셈 지게 쉬우지 꺄대요나 아니 추동네 추마 조디 잠발 초와 가르치기도 딜라 아니 삼로당 라이온디 파게 초대서 딜라 셈 만로 아치는 추 뒤투고요라 제가 내가 다가라는 추 용야지다 아니 초대서게 삼로디니니 추 아니 디파 딱 미과디 샤네 미과 추 사바지가 레온디 안 디겐치네 아니 르보라 르파비아다디 용고요래. 제가 뜻으로 로거레레 츠 아니 니니 미니니게 아니 제고도 주도거제. So find a partner, someone that you haven't worked before and worked with before.
You'll have about 10 minutes to walk around and experience.
glass of water. It's the bowl of
아니, 최고디 두백갑소. What was your experience doing this activity? Do you think it will be helpful? Yeah.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Actually, I want to share something. When we are doing our first the station, that was take a round on the hall and then feel that what happened with us. In this activity, I felt something. So I felt that my shoulders are, something happened in these portions. It get me relaxed. So this is a good sensation. But after that, we did 3 another stations. We went there, but I was not able to find the sensation. Maybe I was not able to recognize that. Maybe it was happening, but I could not understand. And one thing, while we are doing station 4, reverse counting, something was happening in my body, but I was concentrating on counting only itself. 10, 9, 8. So I was not thinking about sensations. So in that way, I got a little confused. Was there happening something or not happening something? So that's my experience. Thank you.
Right. It is possible that when you are, engaged in some of these activities, you don't notice any particular sensation. That is very. It's something that happens to a lot of people, and then some of you were asking us about that as well. So as long as you notice, in such cases, I think the sensation that you may be having. I mean, we have sensations all the time, right? Hardly unless we are very in deep sleep, our body has all these sensations. But most of the time, the sensations are neutral, and we are not focused on that. We are not paying attention, and as such, we don't notice it. So in this case, perhaps the sensations that you were feeling might be neutral, which is okay. But if the sensation is unpleasant, then we would like you to notice that and then shift your attention to another sensation, another part of the body which has either neutral or more pleasant sensations. So that is something that happens to a lot of people.
Hello.
Any other comment? Yeah.
So my comment is like very similar to her. It's related with the reverse counting. So when I was counting the numbers from 10 to 1, even though like in the rooms there are lots of people talking, so I forgot all of those noise, and my focus was only. I noticed that my focus was only on the counting. So it brings something like mindfulness.
That's true. In this case, I mean, we try to make these activities as simple as possible, right? So as especially for small kids, if you make a very complicated activity that would involve a lot of thinking or using the cognitive part of your brain, then it may not work, because these help now strategies are used when the students are agitated, when they are highly excited. So during those when they are experiencing these emotional sort of dysregulation, often it's very difficult for the students to access the part of the brain that does these cognitive functions. So we usually, all of these activities are very simple, right? Things that does not involve much of using our, cerebral cortex. It is possible right now here in this activity, like counting backwards, you are being mindful of that, and as such, although the sounds are coming through your ears, you are not paying attention to them, and as such, you don't feel like you were hearing them. So in a way, it serves the purpose of this activity, because you are now, you have brought your attention to the present moment, and that is, part of the goal of this activity. Other comments? Or?
Good afternoon. I think the question is I felt the question is quite strange, because what do you notice on the inside? So, ma'am and sir was saying the sensation, but the sensation is a bodily sensation or the touch or these 5 senses. So I was confused of what sense. Inside the body I can't feel anything. So the question is strange. Maybe you could have asked like, what did you feel inside? So it could be a feeling or anything, right? So I was confused. And then I think it would be helpful for the particular situation with the little kids if they are very overexcited or anxious or like, not in the classroom or behaving with the other, behaving in the class. But then when applying this, so suppose if in a classroom with the 15 students, how can I, give focus to the student and then leave the rest of the students alone?
Okay. It makes sense, right? So, I mean, we could, rephrase that questions. What do you notice on the inside? But here, we were talking about sensations mainly. So, for instance, when you were drinking water, you feel the water going down. You feel that, right? So here, we are asking the students to pay attention to what they were feeling through their senses. So it could be, eye sensation or ear sensation or body sensation, right? Any kind of sensation will work. So, when you do this activity with your kids, you can rephrase it and, tell them to notice the physical sensations that you are having, right? So that I think should be fine.
Can I add to that a little bit?
Yeah.
So we've discussed this with Elaine Miller-Karras, who's the expert that advised us on this part of the curriculum. And she has very particular phrasing here, which I also found to be strange the first time I encountered it, because I was like, what do you mean on the inside, But actually, we want you to try to focus your attention on internal sensations. And it's okay, some of them we sense, like sense of touch, so that's contact. So anywhere from contact on your body, but then to notice the internal sensations, what's happening inside your body. So warmth, coolness, tingling, relaxation, slowing of the breathing, gurgling of the stomach. These are all things that we actually can experience on the inside of our body, but we're not used to placing our attention there, so it's quite unusual for a lot of people. But there's value in getting better at this skill, because a lot of things are happening on the inside of our body when we're experiencing different emotional states. And so if we can recognize when those things are happening, then it can be helpful for us to catch ourselves, during different emotional states. So it's intentional that we're asking on the inside, but it's also confusing because we're not used to doing it like that. Did you want to translate it or?
Yeah. 제가 단다디 모랑기 게나기 치워디나 아니 낭로라 카르 초르기도 세디 데스치게 아니 세보미도스 라 아니 낭로라 초와 칸데스키기도 세저라 the help now strategies the karsure to dignesine da sögen chora sögen di tanda Elaine Miller-Karras lamngedire ajadi and mögi sunghe chena chenga andos chine nangi chowa khari ngud nanglo khari chorgido se di 아니 챙아도 샤바 인스 낭로라 도난 가리리기도 와 다디 베나 낭로라 가족이 유아 망부지 도디고 와 아니 디 베나 저거 구조 당야라보다 와 닝유야다 다치게 덴데진의 난기 유아도서 뭐 송야디 아니 내가 전부 차기요 레스 가스나 가족이 생명다 루브난기 유아디 대화 차디고 와 생명 슈침불레인데 루브난기 유아딘데 레용고 그래서 루브난기 유아디 가족 뭐 송야디 딜라 장바로 태바이나 안 류르 유아디레 생명 가리게 용고여 봐도 보토야다 아니 생명도 슈침부 마차 응외네 아니 고데 아주 탑시 가르쳐 봐이네 제네 마충도 다야 디케바요라 디임버선자 챙아도 시그니 아니 카르소레 티바도 티바레스 고 당보차라 마콘베 네급수디 고 지게 세부 메바든데 용시기레데 이나야 조 낭라 유아 가르르고도 딜라 아니 도난테 셰도 아니 제고도 두고요 레스 아니 so another part of her question is about the classroom, how to manage that. So I will try to address that and please add. So these activities, when we introduce it to your class, we prefer that you do one activity at a time for the whole class, not to have all these stations and then have the kids do it at the same time. And you can go through these activities, teach them over a period of time. And once they have learned these activities, then these are available to them. And whenever they need it, they can just do it. So in the classes in the US and other countries, when a student is not feeling well or feeling agitated, he or she can just stand up, and then if she wants to do the push against the wall, then she can do that. So you don't have to ask all the class to do the activity at the same time. So these are strategies that the children have, and strategies that they can use whenever they feel the need. 저는 단대 지워직 디디로와 아니 진짜 보고 망보치네 아니 help now strategy 도 제바이나 보고 가실 흘려대 가시 제고에도 아니 개개인의 당진 제에 간데 연구레스 디로와 디나르다 지나 보고 설어디 상망 어쩌체 라 군수기 셴바체 아니 디 제뒤에 뒤직라다 디 상마 아니 고가 어쩌체디 연구 말와 디 무슨 잠페나 니마 당보들라 직 어쩌체 디니야 제라 셴바 어쩌체네 and 두주 보고 그런 쪽이 현사회 제라 콘조 가져 배주 당당 연구로 와. 진짜직 낭로라 보고직 배라 되마초 가지 차고 쪽으로 차기 위해나 아니 코란라 then they have now strategy 직 락렌타르슬라나 보고 그런 드로네 로 직발라다 가시 직발라 비자 당야 단데 치기도 와. 디니 고 진짜라케 녀고 말에 보고 그런 로션 디고 와. 한 디디 그런 게 제보 손자 신기여장 개개인기 당진이 개체하고 말해 코란코란 소소디 제요라 세상 가시기 추동해야다 가시기 비교하다야디 디니 락렌도스 따라야 연구.
Thank you. That was a great point made there, and I think that this actually applies to all of the resiliency skills, grounding, resourcing, help now, all of them, that we teach them to our students not in moments of great, sorry, my hearing. Not in moments of great distress or agitation. We just teach it to them, and then we practice with them, because it's useful in any case to feel a greater sense of well-being and groundedness and in the moment in our body. It's useful to all of us. So once we teach it to them ahead of time, before they actually need it, then when they need it, the skill is present for them. The skill is available to them. So this is really, really important, because when a child is very upset, then to try to teach them some new skill is very difficult to do.
제가 단다데 help now strategy 제 팀마임베 단다가서 grounding 다 아니 resourcing 데네 라블레 망고지 장로아 디상마 룩투솔라 모드에 체네 로아 콘주기 셴바체 아니 디야 고 망 어제 지기 락랭 따기 간제 콘소들라 장버 탭 거와 장버 지 탭 차나 아니 콘소 코란조 가지 배주 땅에 배주 땅 초조 연구여와 Di Basunza, Dia Puguji Kangi Tedi, any labni, the chase line, the day Mares, Munima, Moderchini Shinchu, any Shensa Vijela, and the Chico Sem Chik 2 wake up so, and Kabdu de la, and Langling di Tarshos Lana, Kochamba Tepsarwa.
And you notice here, there's a spot here on the slide, it says our own strategies. Those are new strategies that children themselves come up with. And we had an example of this when we were in Germany recently, and a teacher there shared. She was teaching class, and one of her students got up and went to the window and was looking out the window. And was it looking at the birds? Or did she say the birds? Looking at the birds outside, seeing it. And the teacher said, you know, what are you doing? Come back to your seat. And the student said, no, this is my resourcing or my grounding, my help now strategy to count the birds. And she said, okay. And she gave the student a minute to do it, and then they came back on their own. So it was a new strategy a child came up with, which is also fine.
So that they la guji or gudita Toma Konso digging to Zugi any Suesha Barwa. Then the help now strategy the Saba Kandine any Suechogi or the Imbasunzangazo Pagi Susugi that Tablam se Tomba Shaya di Dirwa. Any Kazan Germany la Tangazu Subjonte any Ganachigi, any Zindati di Puguji Yalani, Gigun Do, and Chilodus, and Te de Sons, any Gana Karchigis Ladi, any the Chilo Latini Chihu Tangajagis, the anti Karchine Reslavina, Morangi that the help now strategy, Pu Kurala. Pichadera, Chizan Dindi, the Saba, Giging, Samlotani Saba, Yunguria, Pu, Kuranzo, Sabas, Chene, that they help now strategy, the Gula, Neva Mare, Ra, Ni Saba Karina, Pichichore.
Sandula, I think it might be useful at this point, since we only have, you know, limited time left, to just review the concept of the resilience zone, so people know how these skills fit within our understanding of, you know, the resilience zone and getting back into the resilience zone. Thank you.
So this, all these practices that we have learned, it's in the second chapter of the curriculum, and it's all to build up our resiliency skills. What is resilience? Resilience is our ability to, you know, face difficult situations in a sort of a calm and in a productive manner, right? So we all have this ability. We go through our lives, you know, there are ups and downs, and most of the time we are able to deal with that, and we are able to use our use our thinking brain, even if the situation is difficult. So that sort of status or that state is what we call the resilient zone, right? Zone where we have control over ourselves, even though our emotions may be slightly up or down, we are still in control, and we are able to perform to the best of our ability. So that status is called resilient zone, right? A state of well-being and regulation for the body and mind, where a person feels in control and able to be their best self, right? So that's the resilient zone. But then, you know, because of adversities, because of circumstances, sometimes we are thrown out of that zone, right? You know, there are two ways in which that can happen. You know, one where you are overly excited or your energy is too much, you are not able to regulate that. And that zone, you know, we call it a high zone, okay? And it's okay, you know, I mean, situations and circumstances often thrown us out of the zone into that high zone. But the problem arises when we are stuck in that zone, right? When we are not able to come back to the resilient zone, or what we call the okay zone, right? So that is something that happens to us. So the thing is, when you are thrown out of your resilient zone, not to get stuck in that zone, right? To be able to come down into the well-being zone or okay zone, because if you are stuck there, then your emotion is highly dysregulated. You are not able to function in your normal way, right? And emotionally also you are highly agitated and you are not able to, you are not in a state of balance, right? And then, it is possible that, you may, fall into what we call the low zone, right? When you are, highly depressed, or when you experience some big loss and you are filled with sadness and you are not able to come out of that sadness. So during those times, you were in the what we call the low zone, where you feel lethargic, you feel tired, you have no interest in anything. So if you get stuck there, that too is not good, right? So if the students or children in your care, when they are thrown out of their comfort zone, their okay zone, then we use these different strategies to bring them down into the zone of well-being or okay zone, right? So the resilience zone dila chidan the resiliency la dila sorchu gi nivas lani lagi ore inya ko ngaju gi denyom gi nebob je ro ngaran zu gyundeng khare nebob di denyom gi nebob dire ro di nebob di nanglola sosu gi chawa khari na che thu go yore pugu so lobjong jangbai ne lobjong la thona te ya da nangjong che ya da sangma che thu go yore wa di gi nebob dila da ngaju gi denyom gi nebob slani ming ta go yore ro denyom gi khul nyom khul la da nyom bu yebe khul di che 다 nyombu yebe kuigi negapso rwa susu lubu ki chane detang yore ani sem ki chane detang yoba sunza lobjong cheya da di changma che tugu yore mi gemba ji imba ina ko lega che ko edu changma che tugu yorwa ina ya da ngajo gi mizin ala ken dame da thego rwa thebal te ne kabre rwa denyom ki nebob de la dema thu bachine di chiro du tugu yorwa ta di chiro lo doye de la chikte phang thothane sem gi phang di thothane 아니 치료도 줘야 지겨래 닐랑한 저기 토클라고 와 다디기 베나 베천도 왜나 베 룽시우지 랑야도보다 라야 셈 랑강도 시우지 게야도보다 근데 이 두주 아니 토클라 레디겨 와 다디 ngaran 저기 미세기 아니 낭로 미세스도 니레니레 초에 낭로라디 용구여래 야 토클라 줘야 참참 미지기 독자 시우지는 콩도 시우시고 랑야 되는데 용구를 와 이네 nengaadi kharasina khondro langni mutyune dagara gala debaina ani lobjong chingejigi chane lobjong lo thona che tu mare rwa ani ko lega simba chingye du zo lega lo thona chin de tu go marwa di imba sunza di thogula mutyune ne mane bachine ma ani nyumkhula ma phabya chorwa di phabthuba di thapse chigyorwa ya kabre pena ta susugi ta karsure susu da hajan nebugi midinde 지게 총말라 속바단 디기 내단기 야셈 시우직 마 shum로야 다 야셈라 교나 시우 냥에기 동야 딘데 차베 값수 가족이 마쿨스라네 마쿨 나마 아니 롱와 지기어래 라 디 마쿨 디나 레바이나 아니 지게 가야 진이 마토와 도난 강리레 잉말레바 수수고래 누바 메딩에 딘데 차거라야 딜레 모튜니 균릉분네 바이나 롭존 체야다도 계기치고와 제자 딱 가족 투두기 라 눈주낭로라 만네 바치네 마 홍야 마 카르소레 뇽쿨라 마 밥투야디 아주 탑시치고라 제자 단다 디 리멜람니 딘데 땡야디다 디레 아주 류부기 다 네법지라 네법숨 아니 모드 제야기 딱 아주기 디더브레 툴도 지라 고 락차스로체 모드 제야 라 딘데기 네법숨 용거레 네법숨나 야마도야 용거레스 디체 디네 라
the zone sumjda dina the pecha shana ningdob doji narda ningdob ngazu mi ningdob lejra ngandu namju normal mila male nyingtop haja chimbudene chanju semba de liwara jisin nanga neva the draw jisin de juba senepet nyingtop sele dewas liwara ta de was normal ni gegi ora tas
rela
ta di en thanda kharang gi sumsha jogi thanda okay zone jidwa di gegi orwe khaderwe di what di chik chingeritos
Los. So his question is, you know, there are people who have, for instance, you know, when we think about courage, you know, some people have very strong courage, or powerful courage. There are abnormal or extraordinary courage. So, for instance, in the case of bodhisattvas, they have very immense courage to help others. So when they are, you know, experiencing that, are they out of their zone, their resilience zone? So so they are not out of the resilience zone. Okay, so resilience.
It's not a measure of energy. It's not a measure just of energy. So high energy is okay in the okay zone if they meet this criteria.
Right.
On this side here.
Right.
Yeah.
So, the slide slide dinalti dwa. The resilience zone nali yonas ra tangbodi I feel control, so control ra. Anybody, my decisions and actions are more productive, ra. Ani I can assess my tools for self-regulation, ra. The bena chowa thagudo khati chikeba ine ya ra. Susu ki tangzing ki wall manro susu tangzing na ne chinje la digyor ra. Ani thakbar do bena ngazu ki lengyen jebe namjue che ra. Lengyen jebe namjue de ko mutini yoba ina ani ko thande resilience zone nal de yor ra. So the resilience zone dia mi manda mi so la chechung ki kheba yor ra. Mi ga she ken chunchun chi gi yang bete yer khongro shukchimbo langye yor wa. Konzo de way na resilience zone di ngazu ki kharsore gyachimbo meba gyachunchun shi res la ni de shagdo ata kanje di remote ki khari chungi ores la ba ina ngazu sem ki neba gyundeng ki ngazu neba detang ki neba soro jero di chen ba che ani neba khangshi la susu ki chawa khari na che ko e takta che tu ye dinde ki neba na li na ani you are in the resilience zone ra di chire do drone ani tangzin shore ya de chungba ina ani the high zone the low zone na do go ra. So, you know, his question about this immense courage that some people have, courage to help others. Although these may be intense sort of feeling, as long as, you know, they are in control of themselves and they are able to, access the tools that they have, tools for self-regulations, and then they are, you know, able to make decisions and actions that are productive. As long as they are able to access the what we call the the cerebral cortex that has the higher cognitive functions, then we consider that person to be in the resilience zone, right? So that person is not outside of the resilience zone. When you are outside of the resilience zone, then you are highly dysregulated. You are not able to control your feelings and your emotions, and you are not able to be your best self. You're not able to perform, productively. Okay, and for some person, their resilience zone is wider. For some, it's narrower, right? Some people are easily agitated and thrown out of the their okay zone, right? So the skills and the skills that we are trying to cultivate here, are meant to help, not only to bring us down to the okay zone when we are thrown out of the resilient zone, but also, by cultivating these skills, we are able to expand that zone of okay, that okay zone, so that initially you might be agitated very easily, but after these practice, you are now able to stay in the resilient zone despite these adversities.
I just want Just wanted to give an example. For those who may be very committed to, who may have great commitment and desire to be of help for others, like the Bodhisattva, the example that Geshe-la gave. But as Sundil was saying, if they are still able to regulate it, to have a better control, that then they are not stuck in that high, and it would not come across as something very kind of destructive for the body or the uncomfortable. For example, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, that as a great embodiment of compassion. Of course, his commitment to other beings, we cannot, it is peerless. You can't really compare that to any one of us, ordinary people. But then you see that His Holiness is not just kind of stuck in some kind of high energy, So on, he tells that he can sleep, he sleeps like 8-9 hours. You see that he's very flexible, there's so much, resiliency is there. Actually, one of the scientists, Paul Ekman, he's an expert in emotions. He says he was, when he first met His Holiness, he was just so surprised, just looking at His Holiness's expressions of emotions. You can see the expressions of joy and sadness and everything, but that none of those remain stuck. That it was so flexible, and that's a sign of great health and well-being. Then the peasant you to bana jika nyingto senare jik shembeng samlo chup chimbo yoba digita ka just some jik shen la pento chewa something samlo yoba yinaya and jik digi kenchen ani jik tanda resilient zone na le matua dit yong mares chen pena tanda chunde lagi somana shere 수수기 소화했던 용설 데라 당진 제약이 내봐 요나 수수기 라발라 요바 예나 아니 그 즉 라마메 와체네 즉 셈야 꺄데바 팡트 디나라 그즉 카르데바 소르데 마임바 수수 라발라 요지 잠바 아니 즉 데게 소춘니 바디 그 용데고 살페나 개문이 제 차샤와이나 베트 투제 즉 랑소르레 아니 데인데 셴뱅게 삼라다 베 간트 수간을 배웠더니 여러와 예바 예나야 제가 내게 즉 셴라 팬도 나에게 공부 까침부 여기 이길라 안즉 베나 제가 즉 다투 와서나 약까데 저 가라 마임바 즉 두균기 제가 잘해 나야다 그래서 샤탄지 나도 갈 베나 알레 시멜라 차샤와이네 베 차서 개구스 dos but symptom of shujung was sumado na ganze so ina 직 제거 상상 직 bet 직 system shujga de to nie kuma to de yongo aro ta surchun ne bati yapo yoken chi te tamba ani 직 ne ba 직 빵 직 ya pargo go na de la parto dani ya ma ba go na babte te sama so la pale ta ga ja tangzen de ne ba de chembo yo ba na ani de la karma te che to yongo yo sare che dande yende tanda semnyong ki kyawa tola kyawa Paul Ekman chuken juare kran kyawa biche jeche but shuj yamsembu jongsons chene do suara kan shu ena kyawa biche jende tamba kyawa biche ki shela but chek that tola chek sonnyong ti kare chunga ina but lamsa shege na la sewo yongo to pena gaso ina re ene chek anje tes chek to go away re this is some pet lamsa yon ashila chik kyok shos ma lamsa gyo to spet ko ta ana la khate ba mai ba ti ta crying is sela chik kyamul bichel ta surchu ni ba resilience de shuk chim boye ba ati ta re shas che do sun are
can I have the slide zone slide can I have the slide over the zone
3 zones
yeah oh yeah thank you. So I have a question. One case is the Bodhisattva case, like the great beings who have like so much courageous. And my question is about those like political prisoners. Like so, those persons who stayed under the brutality and so much like suppression under the suppressed by the police or whatever under political circumstances. For such persons, like physically, they have like traumatized both physically and mentally, but still, when they stay there for a very long time, I think their resilience zone expand, isn't it?
Yes.
So my question is, I'm just curious about whether their resilience zone is expanding or they are like fit into the high zone. They are used to the high zone, or are their resilience zone expand? But sometimes like familiarity is so difficult, right?
Yeah.
At the beginning, something which is like not very like good for you, but when you used to it, it become good.
Right.
So my question is in the political prisoners, did they like resilience zone expand, or they are fit into the high zone or low zone?
I think it depends, right? There could be some political prisoners who had spent decades in prison, subjected to all kinds of tortures and so on. But despite that, they were able to, stay, in their resilient zone, right? And for those, I think, their resilience zone might be very, wide through their, individual practices, or, sometimes, shifting perspective also helps. And we are going to talk about that later, because when you are subjected to so much torture, I think different people uses different strategies to, overcome those. And in the case of some of the, Tibetan political prisoners, for instance, His Holiness gives this example of one monk from Namgyal Monastery, who was afraid that, he would lose compassion for the Chinese, prison guards. So in these cases, the person is utilizing these strategies, to remain in that resilient zone. And then, for some prisoners, they might not be able to do that, and then they are often thrown out of the resilient zone and get, stuck in either high zone or low zone. But the thing is, if you are stuck in a high zone or low zone, then you are not able to, function to your best abilities, right? So, it is possible that, some of the prisoners, because of that, I mean, we often see prisoners who spend a long time in prisons are very depressed when they kind of come out of the prison. So that too is, possible, I think.
Yeah, you said part of what I wanted to say, which is they've actually, they've studied people, asked people who've survived these kinds of situations, what did you do to survive? And many of them mention resourcing, whether it's doing prayers or thinking of loved ones or imagining, being back home, or sometimes they get access to, reading materials or find a way to communicate with another prisoner. So people who do better in those situations, actually what they are doing is they're using a lot of these strategies, resourcing strategies, grounding, and their own help now they make up in the moment to cope. Certainly they still have effects of being in the high zone with these extreme situations, but it might be actually a good example of how the strategies they come up with really can help them cope with even extreme circumstances.
아니 딘데 때문에 저나로 유릉부 대용에 미도저와 건조기 단다디 가서 뇽 퀴르스티 아니 체로 야체로 두고요래 야나 데베나 저기 토쿠라베디야 바데 유릉부 쇼지 대바순서 딜라 디도에서로지네 딘데 차기요레스 디송송한테 디 나초 인사라 가셰기 고 정가나 유릉부 대 아니 대네 tako karsure sususugi da kange motini tegeorwa dukjongdan desu motini tegeorde ine susugi tapshe damida tenne rwa ani tanda de nyomku ran la de tuyechi rwa ta pena lungda uji langne long by nenda ya samba shu kyo by nenda khanje susu gi ta samlo tang de juwa tang ve thone ani nyomgu ral de thuye chik yungu orwa ya khaji gi ta bet jonga na gyunung bu de ne bet ani bet yi shum de nge da buda rwa bet ya bet ma khu la ma ha de de yungu orwa na cho rwa an thanda gyan la gi kharisong la ba ina ani de gyunung bu jonga la de nyong nge me du zo la ani jonga de be nga la 다 컨디션이 되는데 균형부 데이터 소스란 게제티인데 건조기 지게 단단하죠 튕기 조리아지와 디길다 랑랭 배주시네 수수기 때 가서래 간예로가 두주기 아니 양양 삼로 당야라고 야나 지게 신도 멸람게야라서 봐 야나 고 전반 난구를 봐 참부치네 대야라서 거든데 기타 먼저 단기 튕기행기 락랭시로라든데 배주시네 아니 제반인스 sene chomba mangbu this labgi ores ra ti imbosun zada dunzu ki lagling ki thone ko nyomku na de thapsi sigo ra ta ya chomba gashe ki dinde chema to ba chene ani ma thyo yin du zambala depression na ya dan de yungu ores.
So we'll give you all a moment to fill out your evaluation form, and then we will just tell you about tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, da dan de the gang show de jang ya thu de se an ga ju sani gi 가르치에 미디 걸 마슈기스